Hello, Thirstaholics. Welcome to the Thirsty Professional, where today we are welcoming back William Bill Wacker. Last year we went deep into mindset. This year, who knows? So go grab a cuppa. We'll be back in a minute.
Welcome to the space where truth is poured. No corporate scripts, just tales explored. From passion quest to purpose found, the thirsty professional breaks new ground. So fill your cup, let's have a chat about careers, life, and all of that.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Thirsty Professional. This is a place where we grab a bevy, we ditch the BS, and we get real about careers, purpose, and passion. I'm your host, Beth Ann Campbell, former corporate queen, now full-time author and podcaster, author of the award-winning corporate humor book, Where the Hell is My Bacon? Pick it up if you're feeling crappy about your corporate job. And the recently released RIP Files, stands for Roanoke Investigations of the Paranormal, Case of the Demon Drums. Little paranormal mystery inspired by a real paranormal investigation that I did when I was a ghost hunter for 10 years, no joke. If you're watching live, let us know you're here in the comments, where you're from, and most importantly, what are you drinking? If you're watching the replay, give us a hashtag replay, and of course, let us know if you have any questions or feedback so we can address during the live stream or after. All right, today I'm going to bring him on when I give him his intro because he's so awesome. All right. Today, my very special guest on the Thirsty Professional is William Bill Wacker. Bill is the founder of Safe Harbor Coaching and has an extensive background in cybersecurity, cloud, tech. He's a former IBM executive, my people, my tech corporate people. He's also has a new role, and we're going to find out how that is playing into his world. He's also a survivor of addiction, anxiety, and burnout, and now shares his struggles with his clients to help them rewire their mind and reclaim their lives. Please welcome Bill Wacker. Bill, welcome to the Thirsty Professional.
I'm not gonna sing, but I appreciate it, and it's good to
You're
be
welcome.
here.
You know what? Swearing, hats, and singing, all very much encouraged, although not required. Never required.
I sound like Peter Brady. I don't think you want that.
Time to change.
Exactly.
Who doesn't remember Peter Brady? I don't even know what we're going to talk about today, Bill, all over the place. We had such a great episode last year. We went into mindset, and you've got some changes that have been going on. But of course, the first question I have to ask you is, are you drinking anything today? Do you have a?
I actually drank, I think, 6 shots of espresso today because it's a big day. So I am actually not drinking anything else because I don't want to be flying through the my building. So I'm actually good to go. Very hydrated and very caffeinated.
Awesome. So. Well, yeah, same here. I've been trying to, people who follow me or know me know that periodically I go through these where I'm going to quit coffee. And so I don't know, a month ago or so, I said, you know what, I'm going to quit coffee because I was having just, you get older, you know how it is, like things that never bothered you before. And the coffee was kind of making me not nauseated, but it just felt like sour. Like maybe it was like I was having some acid, and I was having acid reflux and stuff. So I stopped the coffee, and it was doing tea, but then I just can't stay away from it. So I get it.
Yeah, I'm laughing internally so hard because we've said this many times that you and I have so much in common. My conversation with my son was that yesterday. He's like, I don't understand why you're drinking so much coffee. You know it makes you feel bad. You know it makes your stomach feel bad. You know it makes your chest hurt. It's like, yes. Mm-hmm. He goes, have you ever tried to give it up before? And I'm like, yes. I mean, he's the 15-year-old that fathers me at times. And like, yeah, and it didn't go well. And so I have this espresso machine that is, I mean, it's ungodly expensive for these espressos. And it's like, I should quit. And
But you got to use it. If you bought it, you got to make get your
well, I
money's
didn't
worth.
buy it. It was a gift, and I'd also from the ex girlfriend that I'd honestly like to get rid of all that stuff, but it is useful. And yeah, I need to commit to just trying to give it up. But it's like a
Well,
it's
you know
like
what
a
the dilemma with
fixation.
coffee is? It's like eggs. Like coffee, you think, okay, coffee is, and I don't know, again, I don't know that coffee is causing or even contributing to my kind of sour stomach acid reflux. Flux. If I'm being honest with myself, I eat shit. Like I eat fatty foods, I eat fried foods. So is it really the coffee? And then so then I was struggling with um like inflammation, and again, this is something that, if I could talk to the younger people and say like just, inflammation is going to start creeping up and you start getting into your 40s and 50s and beyond, and it's just more prevalent, right? So I was just feeling really, for a few days I was just feeling really joint, like just feeling like everything was inflamed and just
Yeah.
hurting and all over achy. And again, I thought, well, let me just cut down on the coffee. But then I looked up, and actually, coffee is good for inflammation. And that's the dilemma, right? Is that coffee is actually good for a lot of things, and there's a lot of research. So,
So that's
uh,
what that was the question. Liam said, "Is coffee good for you?" I said, "Everything isn't. It's yeah." I said, "In moderation." Because what's
yeah.
moderation? That's what because that's your answer to everything. Like,
So I'm back on the coffee either way. So, what do you think? Do you watch um
oh,
Ted
I
Lasso?
did. Yeah, I
Yeah.
enjoyed it, especially
Yeah,
with being an Anglophile and loving England so much.
I know.
Totally, yeah, I totally loved it. Just I didn't
Do
know
you
where
ever
Richmond was, but
Do you ever watch like a show that you just really like a lot and just really wish, like, in your head that's not what it really is? Like, who lives in a town like in Ted Lasso? It was just so beautiful. It's probably somewhere.
oh no,
But
it's there. That there's Richmonds all over London and
is
all
it
over England. That's why. So I went to England last August, and I was in London, which is my favorite place, but I literally didn't even spend any time there. It was more just to get in and then lost my luggage. So I was so tired.
nice?
But I
Great.
ended up going to all these different towns, and they're all unbelievably cool.
Really?
And oh yeah, and like I went
Good.
to Woking, which is where McLaren's based. I was just sitting there like, oh, I love it.
Well, I
And
love that it's real.
yeah, and then there's all, but yeah, they're just those places are just everywhere. Those type of villages, and like where Windsor Castle is that they have the coolest one of those villages. Like right before you get there, it's like just a couple streets of just shopping, and it's a great place. They have
Don't
their
they have like
problems like we do too, but it's awesome there.
do they have like Walmart and stuff too? I
It's a
mean,
great
this
question.
is my question, because every time you see
No,
something on TV about anywhere, it's always like, but where are the Walmarts and the Targets? Not that but it's like that's what I have a lovely little community too, but it's like 4 blocks long, and then it's like urban sprawl. So,
there, I didn't really do that though. That's a great question. I'll have to ask that. But my sister, like, she lives though in Switzerland, and it's so messed up there. Is because it's so bloody expensive. And fortunately
is
for her,
it?
it's crazy.
I had no idea.
Fortunately, she lives on in Basel, which is on the German French border. So she does all of her shopping in France.
Ooh,
And
where it's
this is the
mostly
only
cheaper.
this is my favorite story. I swear it's true, and I don't go to these places often. But my brother-in-law said we just got a Hardee's Carl Jr. and I was like, "Yay!" It's like in Switzerland. This doesn't kind of fit. But he goes, "Bill, I got
Yeah,
to say this." He goes, "Guess how much like a meal is for like a burger? I still can't believe it. Is
astronomical.
$45.
What?
That's
At
and
a
so
Hardee's?
and I told my ex girlfriend who was literally going to Switzerland. I was like, I've heard it is just insane, and he told me
Wow.
this. She's like, whatever, Bill. Like you embellish. And then she came back was like, you were right. It's
I
like
mean, I
going to
thought it was bad. Like, here, if you go out into the West Coast, California, and then the Pacific Northwest, you know how it's always more expensive. But then my my sister in law, who is currently in California, soon to be moving to Virginia. When she comes to Virginia, she doesn't think it's that much cheaper here in Virginia. So I don't
no,
know.
it's DC area is really expensive, and
But
but yeah,
we're like 2 hours from DC, but I guess we're close enough. Have you ever been to Scotland?
no, that's definitely on the list, and so is Ireland with my Irish heritage. But I don't know. I just love going there so much, and I have friends there in England and
Yeah.
mus- musician friends that so I get to go to concerts and stuff. It's great. I love it. It's like my basically my TV watching involves watching BBC, especially right now, which is
Right.
just and YouTube concert videos typically or music and
What are
that.
you watching on BBC that I should look up?
Oh, it's the news.
Oh, the
It's
news?
yeah,
Yeah.
just
Yeah, it's pretty much like avoid American news right now and watch. Does it make you
you
feel good? Because you and I were talking earlier, and I want to get too much into it, but everybody knows here I'm a bleeding heart liberal. But does it make you feel better when you hear people like that? At least most of an entire country is at least in their news, they're saying, this is not right.
oh, they're just that's all they talk about though. That's my friends said like when I first started with IBM, I went to a class and we had a lot of Europeans there, and they were just completely knew everything about us. Like
Yeah,
were like talking about governors and senators and I was like, how the hell do you know this stuff? He goes, Bill, we have to because everything you do affects
yeah.
us. Everything. So they know everything about us, and by watching the BBC News, I know because that's all they talk about. They talk about us more than they talk about their own country.
Hmm. Wonder what it's like from afar watching an entire country where half of its members are basically in a cult. I don't know. Anyway, I shall leave it at that. So,
Well, no, I'm going to say something about that. That's the big. There is a difference because they are just beyond, and I think the majority of the citizens here now are just mortified. But I mean, they have taken the whole Epstein thing to a different, completely level than we have. I mean, they are all over it. But
yeah.
at
Good.
least the perception is they're all over it. Anyway, we
Well,
don't want to go
it's
down
going to
that
take
route.
that kind of pressure. It's going to take that kind of pressure from outside, I think, to speed this along. I think it will end, but I think it needs to speed along. I asked you about Scotland because we have Willie Nickel joining us, who lives in Scotland, who is from Scotland, and he also was talking about probably the coffee. Replace I should quit with I want to quit. Yeah, I think I've said that, Willie, but I just like coffee
He's
too much.
right. He's right.
But I don't
It's
know if I want to. That's the thing. I feel like that's a lie. But anyway, enough about coffee. So, Bill, let's start off by letting everybody know what do you do right now? I know you have a new role, so you got your coaching. You talk a little bit about that, but also maybe what you
Yeah, I
in some
so
classes.
coaching and there's going to be an app I'll talk about that's being released here in the next month or so. But I ended up accepting a job with a company based out of Australia, CPT Global. I could not be happier.
Awesome.
I so I was with IBM a number of years, 16, and most of the time I spent just about all of it was in what we call the mainframe or System Z now. But core technology for companies, especially banking, insurance, retail, credit cards. So I started, selling mainframe modernization in 2002, and then worked up to be a manager within the Z organization for the technical resources and such, and then ended up full circle being reporting to the VP in the West region for mainframe modernization. So I loved it, and unfortunately, IBM, like a lot of companies in 2016, laid
Yeah.
off, and so then enough about that. But I still kept the network going. I still had nothing but fond memories of the people I worked with. And
Same.
this position came up and I was reading it and I just honestly, I started laughing like, oh my God. I was like, this is like a dream freaking position.
This is written for me.
And it was. And it was honestly borderline cocky about it. And I said to the recruiter, I said, I know how this is going to sound, but you're not going to find a better person than me for this job, period.
Wow.
And after interviewing, I think they quickly figured that out. But I'm, everything happens for a reason, and you go through your trials and tribulations and such. And I think you and I talked about this. You say, why am I going through this? I'm a good person. Why am I going through
Yeah.
this? And
Universe.
yeah, well, 3 years of the School of Hard Knocks and being an entrepreneur and learning, especially about AI and marketing, they found a person that knew that stuff, and the reason he knows is that he had to know it. He had to learn it. He had to take the time to do it. When you're in a role, you're so intensely focused on your job, it's hard to make the time to really focus on other things. I would
Oh,
never
yeah.
be able to do that if I
Plus, you're
didn't.
tired. You've talked even we talked last time about all the burnouts that you had had. Even when you're in a good job, when you just, you have a lot of things going on and you're in that day to day where you're just working a lot and learning and your brain is just gets fried. And so how can you even I don't even know how I did it. I know how I did it. I knew I did it because I was working for it started for me when I was working at a consulting firm, and my boss at the time, who's an amazing guy, we talked before the call about bosses being
Mhm.
friends. Another boss that is a good friend today let me know that they were some of the executives were looking to cut costs maybe, and were looking to let me go. And that was when I said, okay, fuckers, then I'm just going to start. I'm going to write my book. I'm going to finish my book. And that turned around, and it ended up getting better, and then ultimately the company got bought out. But I that's on the only way I could have done it, because I was busy, and my brain I didn't have the brain capacity to work 10-hour days or more and then go, "Oh, hey, I didn't want to do anything. I just
Yeah.
wanted to crawl into the couch and watch, Gilmore Girls." That
Well,
was what I did.
Gilmore. Oh man, that's my sister's show. I watched New Girl, but that done. We'll go different direction later. But yeah, I'm that person now. I'm fried. I really put everything I have into this role, and I love it. But yeah, it's like you're just beat if you're. I think if you're doing the job the right way, you're tired at the end of the day. But I
Yeah.
also, I've told my manager this, that I have to know when to stop. I have to
Yeah.
learn, you got to shut it off because
Do
my
you do you
kids,
do you find can you do that? Because I know people, and I probably said this myself, you get a new role and you go, "You know what? I'm going to put the boundaries in." Do you feel like you're in a good place to do that?
I do. It's such once again, a great timely question. It's like I'm able to talk to the CEO now, and the owner of the company, the founder of the company, which I've never really had that ability to do. I mean, I've done it, but not consistently, like daily. And the CEO brought up a good point on one of our call the other day. He just said, do you need to take a day off of prospecting and really focus on just like recharging and not go at it, 40 hours a week, just constant. He's right. You got to mix it up a bit because you're not gonna be creative. You're not gonna enjoy what you're doing. People can tell when you're writing if you're just kind of going through the motions. They can
Yeah.
especially tell on a call, like a
Oh, yeah.
sales call. I'm completely energized in my role just because of the people I get to talk to again. And like, for instance, after this call, I have a call with 6 IBMers, and I can't wait. It's going to be
Ooh,
great.
oh, your people, your
Oh yeah,
people.
that's the great. I've been talking and reuniting with some just wonderful freaking people,
Oh, that's fun.
and it's just awesome.
How are you dealing with do you have a time change, or is this company, because it's more global, or do you have to deal with a time change? Because
Well, yes, yeah, it's that. Oh my God, you're funny as hell. Yeah, we talked about that yesterday too. It's gonna really affect us because it's not a 1 hour time change. They have their own time change too, so it's gonna be two. So as of right now, it's 14 hours,
Wait,
and
14 hours difference?
from Melbourne, yeah, that's where we're
How do you
based.
well, how do you manage that? Do you have to be on their hours or do you get to work
We have about a
your
2 to 3 hour window. Um, and I usually do about, if I talk to the Australian team, I usually talk to them between 3 and 7, but usually it's 4 to 5 or 4 to 6. Now we got to figure it out again
Wow.
because,
It's
they're
tough,
the week.
Bill. I mean, I did that with folks in India for many years at my
Yeah.
utility job. Well, and even just a 5 or 6 hour difference sometimes is
Oh,
difficult.
absolutely. But of like 5, 6 hours for me in Europe is nothing compared
Nothing.
to Australia. It's like, yeah, I can manage that. It's difficult, but yeah, but it's just it's a different culture. Like we were off for freaking 3 weeks at the end of the year. I started at mid
Ooh,
December, worked 2 weeks, and was
who
off
does that?
free. I mean, and that's because it's a different culture, and yeah, I'm just super excited about them. I know we're gonna do very well, but it's the quality of the people there that Jerry is the founder and Luke's the CEO that they've
The Australian, do you get to talk with the Australians and say, "Nar"?
regularly.
I love the Australian accent. I cannot do the Australian accent, but I
Well, I'll
love
tell you
it.
something
I
funny
love it.
about they call me. So they Wacker is, of course, a great name to have, and you can do a lot of different
Anywhere.
things with that name. Yes. So I guess my nickname is Wada, and I thought they said water, and they're like, no, it's Wada. Like, what do you mean? It's like, what a wacka. That's a term in
Wow.
Australia. What a wacka.
What a
So that's my
nice.
nickname. Is
Nice.
Noise. Yes.
I love it. I love it. All right. So you've got this great new role, but you are also still working on some other stuff with your coaching. You haven't abandoned that. Tell me about this app. You sent me a little info on it, and I'm kind of excited to hear about this. What is it? Who's it for? And when's it coming
So
out?
this has evolved. This has evolved over probably the last year, and I have a business coach, Christine West. I'll give her a shout out because she's really amazing and very good. And she's a Chicago former IBMer and Cisco, and she lives in Anchorage. So she's,
Wow.
yeah, I mean, it's the different world there, but she'll be outside and see mooses running by. It's like freaking nuts. But she's awesome, and so she knows about the struggles of myself in terms of alcoholism and anxiety and dealing with that. And what we had discussed over time is that there's so many people, especially now, because being sober is it's actually become kind of cool. So people are, there's a sober movement, and but people struggle about what am I going to do when I go out with my friends? What am I going to
Yeah.
do when I go out to work with on these events? I don't want to
Yeah.
drink. What am I going to say? And especially, what am I going to do if I'm pressured to drink? What if I don't want to go to this place? What if I'm struggling with the family dynamics at a holiday party? And then it's also for women, because I have two daughters, and the stories I've heard of women deal with men is we don't even want to go down that. I know what you're thinking.
That's a whole other level.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're going to stay. But it's horrible. So one of the example, like I went to a bar at Michigan. I don't drink, but went out, and yes, and the sign says if you feel pressure or if you feel, send a text here.
Yeah.
It,
A
and
lot of them are doing that thing. Yeah. Or put something in the bath. They'll have something things in the bathroom
yeah,
where
exactly.
sorry,
So
I'm
what
a
Christine and I
chapstick.
came up with was just it's called Will the Conqueror, and it's basically conquering your fears in social situations. And it's Mind Studio is the AI company I've worked with, and we're just finalizing the interface. But I mean, she sees a great need for it. I see a great need for it. So we can talk about this at another time. But you just ask it questions. I basically have spent so much time going through all these situations I've dealt with and came out of very well, and also remembering the situations I didn't deal with so well, and really
Yeah.
determining what you say. And it's intuitive, and it's you say, "Hey, I just don't want to drink with my friends. What do I do?" And but
Yeah.
it's going to tell you that it's not going to say, "Well, Tom, I don't want to drink tonight
Yeah.
because it's
Yeah.
not healthy." No, it's going to say, "Tom, I told you I don't fucking drink anymore. Would you just lay off?"
Wow, I love that. No
There's something.
BS in
Oh
your
no, no,
face.
no! It is. It's not going to be like, well,
You're not tiptoeing around it. You're putting up a boundary. It's helping you with how to articulate your boundaries. I love
yeah,
that.
and speaking in it in a positive manner, and it just not being confrontational,
Well, because
but being firm
yeah.
and
Well,
and
you
again,
can
just
imagine being in those positions where you're already in, especially, probably for somebody who, well, really anybody, but imagine that you're just newly sober and you want to go out with some friends, or they want you to go out and you haven't, and you're focused. You're like, you're worried about, how do I relay this? If they're being resistant and pressuring, then it's, now you got that worry. You're not really like in a good place to be like really logically, calmly, perfect thinking about, here's how I need to handle this.
I
Let me
I
get some help.
still visualize the story. Still, this was 2008. And full disclosure, I ended up going drinking again many, many times and trying to get sober many times. But the first time I tried was in 2007, and I was sober for a bit. But I was a new IBM manager. We were out at an event, and basically everybody at the table were, I would say, friends. I mean, we've known each other forever, and every I'd say half knew I was not drinking, but the other half did not. And one of the people was like, "What is wrong with you? Why aren't you drinking?" And it was very like, and
Just
he's
say, I'm
like, "Hey."
pregnant. I can't.
Yeah, and I remember my two friends, both women, just like staring at me like, "What are you gonna say?" And they both had, red wine glasses on their table that I could smell, and I'm newly sober, and it's like, oh. But I had the support, and I had other people looking at me and like, "We're with you." And that's when I learned, speak calmly, firm, and basically if they keep pushing you, fuck off. I
I
mean,
love
and
that.
that's what the apples say. Just it's gonna be real world. It's not gonna be like ask like chat
This
GPT.
is Bill,
Yeah.
this is like so amazing because look, from a coaching and from a support perspective, it's outstanding. But from a business venture, once this hits big, and I think it will, and you're like, okay, this is super popular. People are buying it. They're being helped. I could see this. You could use this for smoking. You could use this for
Uh,
food, because as somebody with disordered food eating most of my life, right? Meaning I fixate about food. I'm constantly have to think about it. I'm going to the family barbecue and I'm worried about, look, I'm not overeating, and I'm not eating, maybe super sugary junky stuff. So how can I enjoy myself? And then what happens is, like, and then someone says, well meaning, oh, you got to try that cake. It's Allie made that, my sister, Allie made that. Of course, I probably would eat that anyway. But, so and so made that, and it's, handmade or whatever, or you just see it and you smell it and you're like, what do I do? Or smoking. I tried to quit smoking for 12 years and before I finally did. This could be expanded to so many different things where people just need, like, I need something right now to help me, and then boom, there it is.
So I couldn't agree more. We're going to start slow uh, with alcohol first, and then social
Yeah,
situations,
absolutely.
and then. But
Absolutely.
I couldn't agree more that we could. It could be any gambling, smoking,
Yes. Yeah.
um, but
Just boundaries. Look, I have a tense relationship with my parents,
yeah.
my in-laws or whatever. Now it could be, how do I, how
That's
do I
definitely
my in-law, my mother-in-law is trying to tell me how to raise my kid, and I'm this is a source of tension, and we've almost come, this it could be so many things. I think this is
the family dynamics is funny because that's what Christine uh, West. I mean, and I'm gonna say Christine really it was her brainstorm, but she and I'm the person that's gone through it, lived it. But yeah, I have to give
well,
her
that's why
complete.
it's going to be real because it's not just somebody
And
with
you
an
know
idea.
me, I love promoting others more than myself. So, uh, but she's been amazing through this whole process and patient because I'm still dealing with quite a few things, but it
Yeah.
only helps me. So
How are you doing? I know we talked about mindset last time quite a bit, and you've had some changes, and don't not to go into anything personal, but how are you, Bill Wacker? How are you with your mindset? It's a lot of stuff to go through. Building an app, you're changing jobs. That's always a stressor.
I'm
Um,
I'm equipped to handle these things so much better than I was in the past. Do I have bad days? Oh God, yeah. But I
yeah,
don't have as many as I used to, and I also don't let the bad days like go like I don't spiral. Um,
yeah, that's good. Well, you know what? That's all anybody can really expect of themselves, right? We are not perfect. Anybody who thinks I heard a lady talk to this about, and it's this lady I follow on YouTube, and she is a former binge eater who now is a therapist and counsels people on all number of disordered eating, which could be I'm eating when I'm not hungry, or I'm full on bulimia or anorexia or whatever. And she had an interesting thing there. She said, when you go into thinking about you start thinking about something with food. She said the mistake that people make is that they envision themselves as this perfect, this is what it should be like. And with food, there's this thing called the Last Supper, like people who have, I'm going to start the diet Monday. So I've got to get rid of everything. I've got to eat everything. And then Monday, the diet starts. And we have this vision that person on Monday who is eating perfectly. I've got the vegetables for lunch with the poached chicken and whatever. That's not a real, and that's why people fail is because that's not realistic. What's realistic is I'm gonna fail sometimes. I'm going to struggle. I'm going to go through things. So I'm so glad that you are okay with like showing your vulnerability because that's what it is. That's reality.
so, like, as a coach or someone that deeply cares about people, um, you have to be vulnerable because otherwise you're not authentic and you're not fake and you're not helping yourself and you're certainly not helping them.
Truth.
I just heard, I gotta try to repeat it, but and I forget his name too. He's running for Senate in Texas. And he had a comment yesterday that was like really just resonated so well. But, it basically says, you say you're a good person, uh, but your actions show me if you're a good person, basically summing that up. Uh,
Weird universe moment because I was just watching. This is like so weird, Bill. I was telling you before the call how I was listening to the Colbert questionnaire, Stephen Colbert, the
yeah,
Late Show host, and he was doing a questionnaire with somebody. I think it might have been Prince Harry, former Prince Harry. But anyways, one of the questions is I don't remember what the question is. Somebody said it was a quote from Marcus Aurelius that said, "Why don't we stop discussing what it is to be a good person and just be a good person?" And
exactly.
that's exactly what you just said.
Yeah,
I'm
it's your,
chilling. I'm goosebumping. It's so weird.
it's your actions, and it's
Yeah.
like, do you really, really care about people, or is it just something to make you feel better?
Right. Yeah. Or you just need something or you feel so shitty about yourself that you just need something worse that you can, say, look
Yeah.
at that person. Wow.
So, but that's how I try to live. There's absolutely days I fail, but I just really, you could change a person's life really by anything you say. I've
Mm.
learned that too.
Good or
Like
bad, for better or
yeah.
for worse.
Oh God, and I think mostly bad, because you don't know what their mindset is. But if you just say, "Hey, you doing okay?" or you just never know how people are going to react. It could save their life.
Wow.
Just
I
that's
need to I need to put that on like a t-shirt or a mug. Like you
Well, there is a T-shirt that like I bought for basically the things that are going my son's going through, and I just saw that they're having, it's expensive, but it says on the back, the the person reading this
yeah,
on the you
just
matter.
know you matter, yeah. Yeah, I've seen those too. Yeah, those are cool.
Um, but that yeah, it's just like for the people that are really dealing with stuff, it's just get help, talk to somebody, anybody. But what I've also learned is that so much of the stuff we manufacture in our mind, and it's that positive
So true.
intelligence that
So true.
I have. So saboteurs that I've taught about. The
Yeah.
judge, the victim, controller. It sounds like the Batman like characters, the Riddler. But
Pow! Boom! Bam!
exactly. And that's and your superpowers are the ones that come to try to knock that stuff out. But it's really trying to understand people and what they're going through and putting yourself into their shoes. My son yesterday, just like perfect example. You're not to mom. You're not hearing me. You're not looking at it from my point of view. And she's been very good about like making those changes because in the past, I mean, for a long time, but now she's like, yeah, I got to do that better with him, and I have to do it better with him. So I just have learned so much the last 3 years, but I wouldn't have learned it if I didn't go through it. I didn't walk through the fire, and
Yeah.
so this app could make some. The biggest goal of this app is to help save a life or help save somebody, give them more confidence that everybody has something to offer. Um,
But
but it's you just
imagine that
don't know
you
what
do
to
that.
say.
You imagine that you do that every day, though. It doesn't always have to be like monumental, right? I mean, so yes, you struggled. Discomfort is the gateway to growth. That's the only way we grow is when we are uncomfortable. And I think more people need to be a little uncomfortable. But I think about this like with my uncle who wrote his book about his abuse and recovery from addiction. And he's out there and he's just all he does is now, whereas before he had compartmentalized the whole experience and he was drinking a fifth of vodka almost every night. Now he's talking openly about his experience and his sharing his book. And it's not always, oh my God, I'm cured. It's like, I went through that. I went through something similar. And they read the book or they think about it or whatever. It's these little things that impact. And I know that's what you're doing too, is you're impacting people on a big level, but also on a just a day to day, like, and your app is going to do that. It's going to be like, okay, can you imagine the relief that somebody's going to feel when they've used this thing and they're like, okay, I'm not alone. I don't have to do this. My friends aren't here. My support system's not here.
Yeah, that's something that I also say is you don't have any idea what people are going through. Like that, the
Yeah.
person you're talking to, everybody has something. Everybody's got like something they're dealing with, and it's just how you react to it and how you. A lot of it's experience and learning, and if somebody. But yeah, you sometimes just don't know what to say. You get that social anxiety of like,
Yeah.
so hopefully
So
this
much
gives
pressure.
people some preparation. The other thing I had heard yesterday was a story about the buffalo and the cow in a
I
store.
know this story. Yeah. Joseph Cope, who was on our show last year, told the story about the buffalo and the cow, about the storm, about how cows. Yeah.
That
Can
is
you
so.
tell? Do you know the story that you can tell? Because
Yeah, so basically the premise of the story, and it's so true in life. I mean, just so think very closely of what I say is that if so, a buffalo and a cow, if there is a big storm coming and they're together, the cow's instinct is to run away from the storm. The buffalo's instinct is to run into the storm. So what does that mean exactly? Well, for the cows, they keep running, they get tired, and the storm keeps coming. So they have to repeat: run, get tired, storm keeps going. So eventually they're going to run out of room to run
Yeah.
unless it's Texas. So, but they're going to eventually have to stick with it. Well, the buffalo running through the storm is going to get it out of the way fast. He's going to deal with
Yeah.
it, be done with it, and it's going to pass and it's over.
Yes. Such a great analogy for life.
It, you just said what I was just going to say exactly, and that's about like that's you can put that for anything you're doing every day. Like I got to do this proposal. Well, I got to do these calls first.
Yeah.
In your mind, you're wasting energy because your mind is saying you still got to do the fucking proposal bill, and it's like,
Yeah.
and then so I've just learned the best way to deal with the problem is head on. And do I do it every time? My God, no. But most of the time, yeah, because it just eats away at me, and I've got to deal with it.
Yep.
You
Absolutely.
also have to learn you have to deal with it on. You have to work with other people because it's not always about you and your time. But
100%. Anybody out there, if we are going to probably be wrapping up pretty soon, but Bill, I asked you before and you said it was okay. I'll make this go quick, but
uh,
um,
yeah.
we were talking about I was telling you, Bill, how I was watching this Stephen Colbert Late Show, and he does this thing called the Colbert Questionnaire. And so I came up with the Thirsty Professional Confessional, and it's just a series of real quick questions that it's my version of the Colbert
I'm
questionnaire.
excited. That's because I
Yeah.
love that. I've heard
Yeah.
some like neatest things. Remember what
Well, you
Ethan Hawke?
reserve
Okay.
that for after because it might be just complete stupid. All right, my first question for you, because we always start easy, is what is the best beverage? This show's all about grabbing your bevy and ditching the BS. What's your best beverage?
Oh, for me, sparkling water with lemon and lime on ice.
Nice. Nice. Refreshing. I love
Yeah.
it. Your office, cluttered or clean? Fess up.
What's a word in the middle? it's
Um,
I would yeah
Cleaner.
I would say it's cluttered, but that's the funny thing though. My office is like I work from everywhere. I don't work from
Yeah.
I have an office that's in my bedroom, but I'm like in the kitchen right now, and yeah, I can't. But I would
Well,
say probably it's I think it's organized. How's
yeah,
that?
there is an old saying, cluttered desk, cluttered mind. And so then I say, well, then empty
Yeah,
desk.
yeah, it's
So yeah,
organized.
I'm a little cluttered too. Unlike Stephen Colbert, I do answer my questions sometimes, and then we'll change every week. What's the best book that you've read, fiction or nonfiction, in the last 6 months?
God. Hmm.
And if you don't know right away and you want to pass, we can go to the next one and come back. So don't worry
It's
about.
I forget the title of it. I can send it to you, but I have to read like 2 to 3 pages at a time because it's just so mind blowing. It's just about higher consciousness.
Oh, I like it. Yeah, send it to me. I'll put it in the
There's a
contact.
lot of those books I've read, but it's my reading habits have changed so much because it's like trying to wrap my mind around, a lot of the things that I'm reading.
Bill,
But
every one of us. I'm telling you, I used to read like voraciously as a kid, and I still do sometimes, but I don't have the time or the energy. I fall asleep. So, what did you want to be when you grew up when you were a kid? Like, what was
pilot,
your a pilot?
yeah, and
Oh,
that's where my daughter is headed, and I don't know about my son.
oh,
But but my daughter's an aviation major at Ohio University. So
nice, nice.
yeah,
I mean, not nice Ohio University, but I'm just kidding. Actually, state is what we don't like in Michigan. If you could not live and work where you currently are, home base, where in the world would you live and work?
London.
I love that. I love that. Name one famous person you'd love to have a coffee chat with.
Oh boy, that's such a great question.
I guess I would say living, a living famous person.
I would have to say because of what I love in my music, and I probably could meet this person if I really, really tried, but it would be embarrassing. But it'd be Noel or Liam Gallagher from Oasis, and
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Liam,
You
my
are
son,
definitely a Brit at heart. You are.
totally. My son's name Liam for a reason. So, but yeah, I probably one of those two, but just the stories I'm sure you would hear. But yeah, Barack Obama comes to mind just because of,
Yeah, I was gonna say Michelle Obama would be on my list of people I'd love to just have.
and even and George W. Just I think the stories you'd hear from just it would be fascinating to me.
Honestly, I would go any president other than the
Yeah,
one that's currently in office.
exactly,
Anyway,
totally.
final confession: are you currently in your underwear or pajama bottoms right now, as in business on the top, party on the bottom, or in my case, dog mom on the bottom? Or do you ever? Is maybe not right now, but do you frequent where you're professional on top, but maybe you've got the shorts and the
I
flip
think
flops?
you know the answer to the question, so why don't you answer it for me?
Yes.
Yes. I live in these that my pajama pants, but they're mostly called casual pants, I guess. So I
Yeah.
can say they're not pajamas, but I freaking love
Lounge pants. Yeah, we just
that.
lounge.
Yes,
Yeah.
wow. So yes, I am, and but I love dressing up. So I was talking to the Australian team that they said that we don't wear ties ever, like ever,
Thank
and
God.
it's still
Oh, you're
like
well, you're like probably like, yeah, if you like to dress up, I mean, that's not good, but
I mean, I have 20 ties probably that I
wow.
maybe wear a tie once or twice a year at this point.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Same. I do kind of miss that. I mean, I don't miss. I was never. It was always business casual, but I do. So I like that I can put something half decent on. But Bill, before we go, is there anything that you would like our audience to know? I've got your contact info here, and of course, as always, I will put it in the comments. But is there anything that you want everybody to know, and what's the best place to reach you if it's not LinkedIn?
Well, a lot actually. I just want to say, first of all, how awesome you are, and say thank you so
Thank you.
much. You do such a good
Thanks.
job,
Thank you.
and I love following your direction and the different ideas you have, and I'm so grateful. You think I'm a good guest, and I get to come on here again. The other thing is, just everything really is in your mind. You can change a lot of things about your mind, but it does take practice and it does take commitment. But and I think it's also people afraid to change because that's how they live. My daughter
Never
struggled forever, and now she's at Kent State and killing it. And she's like, I don't know, I'm not used to this, and she's really struggling with it. And it's like,
know.
I get it. It's like, when's the other shoe going to drop? So it's just getting out of that
It
mindset
might.
as well, and learning that things are great, but tomorrow can change, and then things can change the next day as well. But I would encourage them to know that they matter, and they can always go to my website, and I would love to talk to them or at least counsel them. But yeah, I'm excited about the app coming out. I'll
Me
provide more
too.
information.
Yeah,
And
do. I think it's going to be amazing. So awesome. Uh-oh. Oh, oops, you disappeared for a second.
yeah,
Bill, still
yeah,
there?
I'm here. I don't know what happened, but no, I just am grateful for the opportunity to talk to you again. It's always so fun. We could probably keep going if we wanted, but you never
Yeah,
know.
I know you got another call coming up. So I just want to thank you again for being my guest on the Thirsty Professional. I love talking with you. We'd say this all the time, multiple times in our conversation. We're like, that's exactly what I was thinking. Universe moment.
That's weird.
You,
It's
you are
weird.
like a brother from another mother, and not only that, you're like my cousin from Ohio. Anyways, because I'm from Michigan. But I love that you're always moving forward and always, the journey of self discovery is one of the greatest, probably the greatest one we'll ever take. And I just love that you embrace that and always move forward. So thank you.
Well, I'm also excited about your book and how that's going, and
Yeah. Yep.
it's people
Ideas will forthcoming.
that I read. But no, thanks. God bless you, and I appreciate everything about you. So.
Same here. All right, folks. Real quick special announcement for the next few weeks because the U.S. is going to daylight saving time. We're going to be moving an hour ahead. So until your area, wherever you are, goes to daylight saving time, if you do, the Thirsty Professional will be an hour earlier than normal, probably for the next 2 to 3 weeks, depending on where you are. For the United Kingdom, Portugal, Ireland, it's going to be 2 p.m. on Fridays, and then Spain, Netherlands, Sweden, that CET time will, I think it's CET time, will be 3 p.m. on Friday. And then after that, once we're all synced up, it'll go back. That being said, next week, my very special guest will be Sky Van Hazen. Sky, you should cook up with Sky, Bill, because he is a transformational coach for modern professionals. He's also lived the grind, so he knows the burnout signs that come with it. He learned the hard way that chasing success without personal alignment is a one-way ticket to exhaustion. Oh God, don't we know that? Now he helps professionals take back their clarity, power before burnout makes the choices for them. His approach is to the point, practical, no BS. You know, I love the no BS, edged with humor, because leadership is already heavy enough. So, a fucking men. Thank you. We'll look forward to seeing Sky next week. And thank you all out there for watching today. If you are on LinkedIn, please connect with both William Wacker and myself if you're not already. If you're on YouTube, please like and subscribe. So helpful and appreciated. If you have any other questions, leave them in the comments, or you can DM one of us. And then congratulate yourself for getting real about your career, your purpose, and your passion. So now, Miss Hattie Arbuckle, William Wacker, and I are going to bid you a fond farewell. Take it easy.
Happy Friday,
Fill your
everyone.
cup. Let's have a chat about careers, life, and all of that.